PSV 1, Arsenal 7. Oh my god. In my preview, I said that this would be a tough game. I thought we would struggle, as we've been struggling previously. We look ruthless today. Absolute slaughter. And I'm still looking at my my chat as well. They're all saying bye to each other. That's nice. Is there 21 people? Does that say? That can't be right. No, that can't be right. But anyways, we need to talk about that game as well, and we need to talk about how many Lisas I apparently know. But we were ruthless today. Slaughtered them. I think by half time I was complaining about a penalty being given away. But after that, after that penalty, second half kicks off, we get a goal off the bat. And then we get another one. And from there on in, the game slows down. And even then, we're still getting goals. 7-1 is not a scoreline to scoff at. But we need to talk about this, and I don't even know what to rate anyone anymore. I couldn't keep up with who was scoring. And that just is a testament to how impressive we were. I feel like the only two negatives that we need to look at is Lewis Skelly and Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey, obviously, for giving away that penalty and then, for some unknown reason, complaining about it being a penalty. And Lewis Skelly for putting in dangerous tackles and continuing to put in tackles that could have seen him get a second yellow. He could have been sent off. I'd like to know what you think about that. Do you think Lewis Skelly should have been sent off for that tackle, or do you think that the referee was correct? But we'll look at the overall game, and we've got to look at it and say we were ruthless. We go 1-0 ahead, and I'm screaming ahead of, and from there on in, I'm not as loud as I used to be. Just because half the time I didn't even know if the goal would be allowed or not. But we'll have to go into our player ratings, and we're going to start off with David Raya. For the most part, David Raya, he didn't really have much to do. There was one time that the PSV missed an open goal. And of course there was a few catches, but other than that, it was mostly easy work for him. Nothing too extraordinary. However, I can't bash him. I thought he played well. I'm going to give him... I think it's fair to give him an 8. The only thing I think he did wrong was in the penalty. He didn't dive either way, he just stood there. Other than that, though, I feel he did very well. And we need to look at our centre-back pairing. We'll start off with Saliba. Saliba was winning a lot of balls, a lot of aerial tackles. He was defending well. He was making sure that he remained defensively solid. And I'm going to give him a solid 7.5. Gabriel, he's getting an 8. And I think Gabriel gets an 8 mostly because you look back at that open goal that they could have scored. They could have gone 1-0 up. But Gabriel, being the absolute wall that he is, he's the one who prevents the PSV player from taking a shot low. If he took the shot low, I think it would have gone in. Absolutely. The fact that the attacker had to put the ball in the air, I think that's kind of what led to it hitting the crossbar. And because of that, again, I think he gets an 8. We have to look to Urian Timber. Again, very defensively solid. He looked like an absolute attacking threat, and of course, he's the one who put us a goal ahead. I'm gonna have to give him a solid 8. Um, Lewis Skelly, I don't really want to be. I like Lewis Skelly. I think he's an absolute star boy, but I think he's getting a bit reckless now with his tackles. Obviously, he got a straight red against West Ham, and it looked like he was looking for a second red in this game too. Because of that, I can't give anything more, I think, than a 6. And I think I might be a bit generous here, because some people would argue, again, he should have been sent off. That would have just been it. 2 red cards before he's even served out the first one. Be the first time in history I've heard of that. Moving to our midfield, and Odegaard. I think first kind of half, Odegaard was a bit quiet. But coming back into a game like this as well, he showed up. He began playing some creative through balls that I haven't seen in a fair bit now. And where's he been all this season? This season just hasn't been his, but for this game, I think Odegaard, especially getting the goal that he did, I think he can get a 7. Declan Rice, I think Declan Rice could have been on the score sheet as well. I remember him he made those passes, he made the runs, he looked like he wanted to get in those positions that were a real threat. And as a result of that, I think Declan Rice, he also gets a 7. The only reason I wouldn't give him an 8 is because I don't think, I don't think that he actually scored. But if he did score, again, I would have given him an 8. Partey, he's the reason that we conceded the way we did, and I hate it. Like, even looking back at it, that's going to ruin the game for me. But I can't give him anything more than a 6 for that. Going into our attack, Trossard, he had his moments, undoubtedly. I can't really think of anything stand out that he did wrong in that game, but I can think of a few things he did correctly. And of course, getting the goal that he did, I think he needed it just as much as anyone else. I'm going to give Trossard an 8. Mikel Mourinho, he was in the right place at the right time for the goal. Obviously, it was a very bad defensive mess from PSV, but he was there for it. He effectively stole it. And a lot of people are going to debate with that goal, was it offside, was it not? I personally think it was offside, but according to VAR, they seem to think that that the defender who it came off of played the ball, but I thought he blocked it. It looked like a block to me. There was no intention, no control in that. I would have said offside, but I can't fault Mikel Mourinho for a decision like that. With Mikel Mourinho, I think he gets an 8, and of course we have to go to Ethan Nwaneri. Ethan Nwaneri, he did what he normally does. He takes on defenders. He gets the ball in wide areas. He does some good crossings, and he's been doing that all game. You can't fault the boy in general. He's a youngster, and yet he just outperforms that entire back line. And of course, getting an absolute bullet of a goal that he did. The moment that left his leg, there was no way the goalkeeper was saving that. And because of that, Ethan Nwaneri, he gets an 8, maybe a 9. I'm still going to have to think about that one, if I'm honest. Mikel Arteta, I think he did the right thing today. His substitution with Lewis Skelly, he could see that Lewis Skelly was getting a bit too reckless with it. If he made just one more mistake like that, he was going to get sent off. To send him off, the way he did, I think was the right decision. To get on Calafiori, I think Calafiori is a bit more controlled in that sense. Mikel Mourinho, I think he made the decision that he made, the substitutions he made, and when he made them, it just worked. Everything that seemed to just fall beautifully for Mikel Arteta. Mikel Arteta is getting a 9. And as for the fans, from minute 1, the fans were quite loud actually. I could just about hear them over the PSV fans, and this is a compliment to PSV because they were so loud. I think before we went 3-0 up, the PSV fans definitely get a bit of credit, but this is Arsenal fans we're talking about. Arsenal fans making the journey all the way there. I'm gonna have to give the fans a 10. The fans 9 times out of 10 get a 10, but I've seen a few occasions. Overall, who's my man of the match? And I'm not really sure, if I'm honest. I don't know who my man of the match is, because there's a few people to pick from. And I think this is something we can have a bit of debate about in the comments. Who is your man of the match? But you look at it now, we're heading over to the Emirates, 7-1 ahead, and our next game will be against Man United at Old Trafford. This could give us a massive boost for that Man United game. If we can perform the way that we did against PSV today, we will absolutely batter Man United. But those are my thoughts for now. Like, share, and comment, and please subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Thank you so much, and especially thank you to people who took part in the chat. That is the most activity I've seen in the chat in a long while. I'd love to see as much of that as humanly possible. It makes my content a little more engaging. Anyways, thank you so much, and I will be seeing you for the preview in Man United versus Arsenal.